Welcome to my channel. Try to hear the latest story.
My wife messaged me saying she's ending our marriage next week. I replied steadily. I submitted the paperwork already. Then I verified our prenuptial agreement was unbreakable and handled all investments on my own. 2 days after her attorney got involved, he was freaking out during a call. At 38, I was gazing at a quarterly financial forecast on my screen, one of those draining spreadsheets, when my phone vibrated. It was Amanda, my spouse of 7 years. Amanda, listen, just so you know, I'm leaving you next week. My attorney will contact you. Just like that, a nonchalant explosion. For a moment, the figures on the display faded. Mental reset. I've always been a strategist. It's how I manage my modest tech company. It's how I approached our union, Amanda. More of a go-with-the-flow type, or so I believed. My doubts had been building for months. The extended evenings at the office, the protected phone, the solo getaways for self-discovery. Last week, after spotting some notable and unexplained deductions from an inactive shared account I assumed was unused, minor sums but a trend, I'd reached my limit. On Friday, I'd met with Ms. Donna, my attorney. We'd examined the prenup, the one she originally pushed for to safeguard her interests, then bigger holdings. It was, as Ms. Donna affirmed, airtight concerning individual assets, including my company, which I launched before marriage. That same Friday, I'd started the process to convert a large portion of my pre-wedding holdings and some personal shares, shifting them into a fresh account solely in my name. Ms. Donna had separation documents prepared, set to file if required. I'd wished, naively maybe, for a dialogue, a confrontation, not this. Her message was the spark. Before answering her, I phoned Ms. Donna. She's made her play. Submit the documents immediately. Speed up anything possible. Done and dusted, Brian, Ms. Donna stated, her tone sharp. Then I composed my response to Amanda. No point in him reaching out. My attorney is submitting right now. Documents should reach your workplace by tomorrow at the latest. What? You submitted? Seriously, Brian? You can't leave me. It's underway. The prenup is solid, incidentally. Hope you held on to your version. Ms. Donna has mine, and it's been fully reviewed. Then, the small satisfaction that felt great. My financial advisor emailed the verification. Transaction completions. Individual portfolio refresh. Forwarded. Subject, for your info. It displayed the completed redirection of my individual holdings. All entirely lawful per our prenup. Amanda stayed silent. Screenshot. Secure backup. Sent to Ms. Donna. Inhaled deeply. The surprise was minor compared to a sharp, precise concentration. Our prenup was her suggestion. Just to keep everything straightforward, darling, my company flourished. Her inheritance not as much, due to a preference for designer labels and resort escapes. Ms. Donna had been nearly delighted in our meeting. This is straightforward, Brian. If she launches an aggressive step, it just reinforces our compliance with the exact terms of this contract. Amanda's message was that aggressive step. The remainder of the afternoon. Discussions with Ms. Donna, locking down access to exclusively owned profiles, updating codes. Every monetary detail handled. A short twinge. Her giggling on our honeymoon, gone, substituted by that detached message. She desired a separation next week. She was going to discover it was occurring today, under conditions she obviously hadn't expected. Update. Awoke Wednesday, sensing steady. Series of unanswered calls from Amanda, furious voice messages. How could you? That cash is shared. No. Around noon Wednesday, the formal attack. Message from a Mr. Timothy Vance. Let's assign him a surname for continuity with the start. CCing Amanda, using her family name, Davenport. We can presume her family name is Davenport. Overbearing. Hostile. Mr. Anderson. He couldn't even spell my name correctly. It's Brian, or soon to be. Simply Brian once more. My real surname is Anderson. It has come to my attention that you have begun separation proceedings, in a rather sneaky and spiteful way. Your efforts to conceal shared assets via 11th hour financial maneuvers will not succeed. My client was pressured when executing the prenuptial contract. Its enforceability will be strongly challenged. We demand complete transparency. Significant alimony. and half of your company stakes by tomorrow's close. Non-compliance will lead to instant legal steps to lock all identified holdings. Nearly chuckled. Sneaky? From the originator of the breakup message. Conceal shared assets? Redirected my individual property according to the prenup she demanded. Transactions started prior to her message. Pressure. Independent advisors. Weeks for examination. She was eager to execute it back then. Half of my company? Clearly individual in the prenup. Alimony. Forgone in the prenup. Sent to Ms. Donna. Figured you'd appreciate this. He's daring. Ms. Donna phoned. Absolute legal humor. I'll deal with Mr. Timothy Vance. He's in for a lesson. Thursday morning, Amanda arrived at the residence. I was in a virtual meeting. Noticed her arrive. Silenced. Team. Brief pause. Unwelcome visitor. She entered with her previous key. I berated myself. In the chaos of the past day and a half, replacing the locks hadn't topped the urgent list, though it was noted. Ms. Donna had prioritized holding protection first. Brian, we must discuss. She burst into my home workspace. Amanda, I'm in a meeting. This isn't your place to enter unannounced anymore. Donna will coordinate with your attorney for collecting your items. Under supervision. My attorney claims you're attempting to ruin me. That prenup isn't valid. Does he? Steady tone. Ms. Donna considers it strong. The one you demanded? Safeguarding my company, my pre-wedding holdings, as it was intended to shield your inheritance. Expression hardened. That cash I used was for both of us. The luxury purse for thousands for us. The individual resort trips. The backup fund in your name I wasn't meant to discover. My finances are transparent, as required by the prenup. Hope yours are as well. She blanched. You can't demonstrate any of that. No requirement. Prenup is explicit. Individual property stays individual. My redirects from my individual property are mine. You receive your items. Your vehicle, cleared by me. Appreciate it. And half the shared savings, roughly $3,900. Mouth agape. $39,900? Are you out of your mind? I require maintenance. I offered you my prime years. Prenup foregoes alimony, Amanda. We each had advisors. You weren't pressured, reclined. You messaged your separation intentions. You chose. You simply didn't foresee I'd already chosen in kind. Tears. Genuine or irritation? You're acting harshly, Brian, am I? Or merely following our contract? You established the approach, Amanda. She departed, banging the door. Quiet. That twinge once more. Short-lived. Then the recall of her message. The presumption. Steadiness returned. Ms. Donna sent her reply to Mr. Timothy Vance, a gem of courteous legal dismantling, referencing sections, including Amanda's executed confirmation of separate advice. Mr. Timothy Vance responded with a briefer, yet still boastful message late Thursday, reiterating on pressure and now asserting the prenup was unreasonable given the present asset gap. Conveniently overlooking her greater worth at execution, Ms. Donna sent another response, sharper by day's end. The advantage was, again, in their quickly diminishing position. Update Friday morning. The past 2 days since Mr. Timothy Vance's opening message had been revealing. Amanda's presumption, boosted by her attorney's early bravado, was colliding with solid barriers. The credit provider had phoned Thursday. Amanda attempted to claim her card, form a shared account, blocked, taken by my spiteful spouse, trying major buys, rejected. Fraud team was sympathetic. My lender also phoned. She sought to empty the full $7,800 from shared savings. Clerk noted it. Ms. Donna equally prompt. Amanda created a disturbance. Yelled about her funds, Mr. Timothy Vance's recent tactic, suggested in his Thursday bravado and likely from Amanda's frantic falsehoods, was that my redirects were with shared marital money. Ms. Donna's reply to that was immediate. Refer to Exhibit A of the executed prenuptial contract, outlining Mr. Anderson's pre-wedding holdings, and Exhibit B, outlining Ms. Davenport's. The origin of the lately redirected funds matches Exhibit A. We possess all investment records. Possibly your client is mistaken. That mistaken phrase was classic Ms. Donna. This morning, Friday, I was sipping coffee. Phone sounded. Unrecognized number. Voice message. Then a message from Ms. Donna, Mr. Timothy Vance's firm. He's attempting direct contact. Avoid interaction. He just phoned me. Tone several levels higher than normal. I suspect the coffee and a thorough review of our enclosures have at last registered. A dark grin. Gasping, was he? This was about 2 days after his starting involvement on Wednesday. Ideal. Phoned Ms. Donna after 10 minutes. So I mentioned Timothy's realization? Oops, prior routine meant Reginald's realization. So I fixed Timothy's realization? Ms. Donna laughed lightly. Brian, it appears Mr. Timothy Vance, or a skilled assistant, at last absorbed the prenup together with the records we provided. His phrasing. Ms. Donna, there seems to have been a major misinterpretation on our client's descriptions of the holding division. He sounded like he'd ingested his formal attire. She went on. Amanda evidently neglected to inform him the scope of what she relinquished, or that the investment profile for your major redirect was yours before marriage, with all gains clearly staying individual property. He attempted to shift to unreasonable. I noted her worth was greater at execution with her own advisor. He wilted, as Donna shared the highlight. He then inquired timidly if you'd consider renegotiating alimony from kindness, since Amanda is encountering unforeseen monetary difficulties and has specific way-of-life anticipations. Chuckled loudly. Way-of-life anticipations? After her message, did you note that? Indeed I did. Indicated her difficulties are a straight outcome of her choices, and misreading a compulsory paper she eagerly executed. Kindness vanished with her message and following unfounded claims. His reply? Muttered about reviewing choices with his client. Disconnected. He's frantic. Brian, Amanda lacks advantage. None. She overextended. And now she's facing the prenup's conditions. Her attire? Her vehicle, $3,900. My fresh investment account? Up 3.5% in its debut week. A subtle, serene confirmation. 0.5% Amanda would never access. Not regarding the funds, the standard, the presumption, the belief she could explode our union by message and depart with half despite our contract. Phone sounded again. Mr. Timothy Vance's firm. Allowed it to ring. Let them both simmer. Her attorney wasn't merely frantic. He was overcome. Amanda was discovering about outcomes. Update. It's been 30 days since the notorious message. The debris is stabilizing, largely into a thin coating of, oh no, what did I do on Amanda's end? From what Ms. Donna shares. Mr. Timothy Vance, following his starting frenzy, attempted a few more hopeless, pitiful strategies. There was a note proposing emotional harm from my hasty and insensitive separation submission, conveniently disregarding Amanda's message that initiated everything. Ms. Donna ended that by highlighting that preparing for separation when suspecting unfaithfulness and monetary deception isn't insensitive, it's wise. He even suggested that maybe I'd offer a small payout to evade discomfort in litigation. My answer through Ms. Donna was, the prenup is the payout. No additional talks. Amanda apparently didn't accept this calmly. I received several emotional, then furious, then begging voice messages. Brian, please, we can resolve this, I urged. Followed by, you're heartless, you're aiming to abandon me with zero. And then, fine, I understand the prenup, but certainly you can provide something extra. For past memories. I don't know how I'll manage. Past memories apparently didn't include not scheming to separate me. And zero was overstating. She received her vehicle, a recent SUV completely cleared. She received her items, which, honestly, encompassed an astonishing volume of high-end outfits, purses, and footwear. And she received her $3,900 from the shared account. The true sting for her, I believe, was the company. She truly thought, despite the prenup clearly declaring it my individual property, that she deserved a massive portion because she was my spouse and aided me emotionally. Aid, which had been markedly missing for much of the year, substituted by barely hidden disdain and those enigmatic weekend excursions. Her attorney at last formally surrendered last week. They endorsed the separation contract, which was, predictably, precisely what the prenup outlined. No alimony, no stake in my company, no stake in my redirects or pre-wedding holdings. I learned via a shared contact, now solidly my contact, that Amanda had to relocate with her sibling. Her self-reliant woman account she'd been funneling money into apparently wasn't as large as she'd anticipated. Or maybe it was already allocated for whatever path she'd been arranging without me. The inheritance from her grandparents? Turns out there were conditions, and her entry to it was more restricted than she admitted, particularly after her folks learned the details of the separation. They were traditional, strong on loyalty and repercussions. They weren't pleased with her conduct. She apparently had a significant breakdown when she grasped her way of life anticipations were set to plummet. No more routine salon stylings, no more multi-thousand spending sprees, no more relaxed meals at fashionable places she couldn't truly fund on her own earnings, which, without my support adding to it, was pulled quite tight. There was one final, pitiful effort at influence. She messaged me a few days back. "Amanda, I'm truly having a hard time, Brian. I could lose my place. I don't know what to do." I didn't respond. It seems cold, I realize. And there's a tiny, foolish part of me that senses a hint of something like sympathy. But then I recall the iciness of her separation message, the haughtiness of her attorney. The efforts to depict me as the antagonist, the one concealing holdings, the one being unjust. She created her situation. A very costly, badly planned situation. As for me, existence is quieter, more serene. My company is prospering. That redirect I executed just before S-Day, Separation Day, has kept performing strongly. It's a pleasant little final touch, I guess, though the true success is the tranquility. I replaced the locks at last. I'm gradually making the house my own again. It's incredible how much psychological effort a harmful partnership demands. Effort I now possess for my tasks, for reconnecting with pals I'd ignored, for simply existing. There's an odd kind of ease. The disloyalty wounded profoundly more than I admitted, even to myself initially. You don't share 7 years with someone and not sense the removal. But the manner she managed it, that offhand harshness, it sealed the injury quicker than anything else might have. It simplified being objective, to adhere to the actions Ms. Donna outlined, to safeguard what was mine. Am I joyful? Not in a leaping with excitement sense. But I'm not unhappy, I'm satisfied. I'm unburdened. I held firm, followed the strategy, and the outcomes for her were precisely what she deserved. Natural outcomes. The finest type, truly. Someone inquired if I felt remorse. I said I felt validated. She risked, assuming she held a strong position. She didn't know I'd already viewed her position and had a trump in reserve, the prenup she herself had promoted. So yes, that's the tale. No theatrical court battles. No yelling confrontations, well, only from her end. Just the calm, systematic carrying out of a solid strategy and a prior contract. She began it with a message. I concluded it with an endorsement. And truthfully, I rest quite soundly these nights.